Welcome to episode 16 of FoundersGyan. Each week we bring you the inspiring story of a startup and the founders behind it. This week we have a very special guest on the show. In fact, this week we are not featuring a tech startup but a campaign called Like Girl Birth. This is a special show that has been recorded to coincide with AGC 2015 currently happening in Delhi. Now, why are we not featuring a startup and instead a campaign? Simple, there was a contest that we ran in association with Entrepreneur Cafe, and the winner got a free pass to the AGC 2015 currently happening in Delhi, as well as a special podcast on FoundersGyan. Read all about the contest and more details at www.foundersgyan.com/AGC. Rohit Nayak is the founder that we are interviewing today. He heads the Like Girl Birth, which is a campaign to ensure that girl births are celebrated. This is very important in a country like India where female feticide and infanticides are still very prevalent. FoundersGyan is proud to support this initiative and I'm so excited to be bringing you this special episode. What are we waiting for? Let's get on with the show. Rohit, welcome to the show. I'm super excited to be speaking with you today. A quick brief on Rohit. He heads the campaign for Like Girl Birth. A campaign, as you can guess, supports the birth of girl childs. This is such a great campaign for a country like India where female feticide and female infanticide is present in many rural parts and some urban parts too. Rohit did his BBA and MBA and has worked in several news channels and media houses. He has a strong background as an art director. Like Girl Birth is something that Rohit does spending money from his own pocket, and FoundersGyan is proud to support this campaign. Though we focus on tech startups, this is a worthy cause and we are making an exception to our usual podcasts. Also, Rohit has won the contest for AGC 2015 supported by the folks at Entrepreneur Cafe. We'll talk a bit more about that in the show. Rohit, great to meet you and thanks a lot for taking time out of your busy schedule to share your knowledge, wisdom and time with our listeners. Thank you for agreeing to be on this show.
Yeah, first of all, I will give the thanks to you and the FoundersGyan who will appreciate my campaign. It's a really big appreciation for me. People like you and some entrepreneurs like you keep just taking interest in this social awareness campaign. So first of all, give the thanks to you.
Rohit, did I cover everything about your journey before Like Girl Birth or did I miss anything?
Yeah, before Like Girl Birth, I don't have anything to tell you.
Okay, no problem. So I covered about you in the introduction. So let's talk about the origin of Like Girl Birth. So can you explain in a few sentences what is Like Girl Birth and how did you come up with the idea for this? And also, can you give us some statistics about the not liking girl child problem in India and how it compares to other countries?
Yeah, the origin of the Like Girl Birth campaign was when I was in Gurgaon. I was sitting with a small little girl in front of TV. We are watching some female feticide and the Save Girls Awareness advertisement on TV. So that little girl asked me, what is this? So I have no words. What I say to that girl, we people are killing two girls and we make some advertisement and we create the awareness for you. So that time little girl say one word to me, you should like girl birth. But that time I say to her, yes, I like girl birth and we should like girl birth. So that's campaigning. So that time I have this idea, I think we should give some positive approach and positive campaign. So people get entertained and celebrate girl birth. So that time we have started the campaign.
Okay. And can you also give us some statistics about how bad is this problem in India and how does it compare to other countries?
Even before the starting of this campaign, we didn't find any statistics and data how many girls kills in India, in all over the world, in countries. We just want to celebrate girls' birth environment, their feelings and all. I don't want to scare any mother and daughter to give the data thousands of girls are killing every month in India. So I don't think it will be a comfort to every girl and mother. We will explain the data and all.
Okay, excellent approach. I think it's fair. And let's talk a bit about the AGC 2015. So now you did win the AGC 2015 contest. So congratulations on that. Now, can you tell us how did you come across this AGC 2015 contest? And also tell us your winning entry for the same.
Yeah, thanks to AGC. They just asked me how to start a good startup. So I'll just give simply one idea. We should make the good coordination between customer and employee, because every startup and every brand depend on two main aspects. It's employee and it's a brand. If we make a good coordination between employee and customer, your startup will be good.
Okay, excellent. And a quick note, I will, Rohit, if you don't mind, I will refer to your campaign as a startup also interchangeably, because in my mind, I don't think it's any different from a startup. It's even though it's a campaign. Only thing is it's not technology based, but the challenges and the issues that you feel that you would face would be pretty much the same as any startup. It could be a startup, could be a company, a campaign, anything. We will use the words interchangeably so that it's easier for our listeners to understand. Now, you had this idea for this campaign, but how did you turn it into a reality? What were the steps you took in order to progress further in this idea?
No, I meet a lot of people who say every time they will say it's a startup or it's a campaign. What is your legal work? So and what's your plan for the future for legal work? So and simply say it's not any startup and any monetary and any fundraising idea. So just seriously, first of all, I want to say seriously, I love kids and I did many work for these kids and all. So it's not any startup. It's my 2%. I'm doing my 2% for this social cause. That's it.
Okay, so you went and met a lot of people, and there was a lot of support, and kind of that's how you were able to proceed with this campaign and make it more and more effective, right?
Yeah. And this campaign is great. Two achievement is that we got appreciation letter for our Rajasthan government department, health department, and the UNICEF also sent email to us for our campaign.
Okay, excellent. Now, we all hear about founders sacrificing family times to make their ventures a success. Can you tell us a bit more about your own family and how you manage to balance your family time, your Like Girl Birth campaign? You also have a day job. So how do you manage it all together?
Every entrepreneur and every office guy want to one day social goals. So we have plan for every Sunday. Every Sunday I invite all my friends and some office guy. We will visit the hospital and support the mother and daughter by our positive campaign. We just disclose and explain the government scheme to mother and daughter so they can beneficial for their. So we manage by Sunday and doing some small activity in our area.
Okay, excellent. But I think you still missed the question on how do you manage all this? Like, where do you get the time and the energy to balance so many different things?
It's according to my work. I'm not doing a 9 to 6 job. I'm a freelancer. As a freelancer at that news channel and media production house. So whenever I get the time, I will support to my campaign.
Okay, excellent. Now, is there a morning or a daily ritual that you follow, and can you share it with myself and our listeners?
Every creative guy don't have any fixed schedule on paper, so I don't have any time for this.
Okay, cool. So you take each day as it comes. So that's great. Now, I'm sure a lot of listeners who are listening to this must be wondering how can they do their bit in helping to your campaign. So how can listeners contribute to your campaign, and what's the best way in which each and every one of us can help out here to solve this problem? Not necessarily your campaign. Not necessarily your campaign, but to solve this problem, or to like the girl birth campaign. How can?
Yeah, in a Like Birth campaign, I don't need any volunteer for 1 and 2 days. We need a campaign coordinator like me. Means people just come and take a positive approach. Yes, I like girl birth, and spread this message to their environment. We like girl birth. So I have a request to everyone, be a campaign coordinator for this campaign, and create the environment around 15, around 20, around 100 people. So this area will be reached in India, in all over world.
Okay, and how do people become a campaign coordinator? If anybody is interested, what do they need to do to become a campaign coordinator? Do they get in touch with you and you will guide them through the process?
We are just making a small summit, Girls Birth Summit in every city. So we will invite who want to become a campaign coordinator. So we explain and everything about our campaign, so they can become a campaign coordinator.
Okay, excellent. Now let's move on to a bit of a personal question. So can you tell us something about yourself that is not commonly known?
I'm married. I have one son. People don't know much. Means even my friend also don't know I'm married and I have a son.
Wow, really? Okay, cool. So, what is the best advice somebody has given you, or best advice you have heard?
In my campaign, or from me?
From anywhere. Generally, what's the best advice you have heard or you have been given?
My boss, Shashank Pathak name, he's a regional head in Rajasthan in Big FM. He always appreciate my work, and that guy is totally different. He say you always deal with the people, deal. You don't involve in monetary fund and any. So be aware for this world and don't be deal always.
Okay, excellent advice, Rohit. Like it. And we all know that these startups and campaigns and companies come with a lot of pressure. Now, can you give any tips on how we can handle pressure when things aren't going well?
I don't think so. I have a lot of pressure and pressure because every day when I meet with any mothers and daughters, they give me the smile and saying you're doing a lot of awesome job. So that time I'm free, tension free, and refresh myself.
Okay, so I think you're one of the lucky few who don't have any pressure in their jobs or in their startup. So I think that's really great. Now, can you tell us about your worst entrepreneurial moment? It could be from this particular campaign, could be from any of your past experience, and what were the lessons you learned from that experience?
The worst experience in my time in this campaign when some lady come to me and say, you people guys are doing social cause for the fund and money. So it's really demoralized word from that guy, from that lady's and that is saying for me, you doing for money and all.
Okay, and so what have you done based on that to kind of change the perception of people, or what lessons did you learn, and how have you taken that feedback?
So I have just I'm not going for any registration and any foundation for my this campaign. This campaign is not registered, and I don't want to go for any NGO and all. So that means it will be not for funding and fundraising program.
Okay, cool. Excellent. Now, let's retouch a little bit more on Like Girl Birth. So, we already talked in the intro that Like Girl Birth is funded from your own pocket. And is there any other additional funding that you're getting, or is it completely from your side?
It's completely from my side. I don't involve any brand and any sponsorship for this campaign because I don't want somebody say ki you're doing for money and the fun. So I'm doing this from my little house and doing small activities, small events, and I have planned a lot of things. I have planned a celebration also in my city. Ki we just take some some bus and with volunteer and we will visit some village and make them happy to mother and daughter, explain everything, every government scheme to them so they can be get beneficial. So my biggest planning is coming is celebration bus for girls awareness.
Okay, excellent. And what is the future that you envision for this campaign?
Maybe in future, UNICEF and will start and help this campaign for global awareness, for global awareness, not for any fund or anything.
Okay, excellent. And I really like your vision. So good luck with that. And are there any books that you would recommend for our budding entrepreneurs? Do you read? Would you recommend anything for our listeners?
Actually, I have told you earlier that I'm not any entrepreneur or something like that. But still, I want to say about the female entrepreneur, for female entrepreneur, BBC is going for a BBC 100 Women program. So they will be must visit this that website and they will be inspired.
Okay, excellent. Now, Like Girl Birth is about 6 months old. The campaign is about 6 months old. Now, what would you have done different in hindsight if you started out today? What would you have done different?
It's done different because we create awareness through a little bit entertainment because people are boring for if we shoot and play some documentaries and get some emotion involvement, so people know that very well. It's implemented by there. So I have just create and input some creative content in this. We just celebrate with events, summit and festival. So people entertainment and just get the positive environment. Yes, I like Girl Birth.
Okay, that you would have done much more faster, right? I mean, you.
Yeah.
Okay, cool, excellent. Now, how can our listeners get in touch with you? What's the best way to get in touch with you? Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter. What's the best way?
Yeah, Facebook is the best medium to get to us. So they will be find us on Facebook. Just type like that, they will find us.
Okay. Excellent. Rohit, I just have one final question, but before we get to that, I just want to take the time to acknowledge and thank you for sharing your knowledge to myself and our listeners. And I'm also very grateful for the value you are adding into the world by means of your campaign. So with that, we'll move on to the final question. So if there is one gyan that you could give would-be founders or would-be creators, basically you are a campaign creator, so if there's one gyan that you could give would-be creators, what would that be?
Okay, so I want to say this whole entrepreneur cafe and the founder gyan. So I think in the last I should give some gyan to all entrepreneur, all coming in, all leading entrepreneur. I have just to say if you want to start some startup or some brand, so get some emotional touch in this your brand or in your product and service. Okay, don't play the feeling with your customer. Okay, make your customer as a family member. Make a good communication and coordination between your customer and employee, because your startup employee, your brand employee can understand the requirement and their mutual understanding of your customer and the employee can be build a better startup.
Okay, excellent advice, Rohit. Really like it. So thanks very much for your time, and it was a real pleasure chatting with you. And wish you all the very continued success for your venture. Thank you very much.
Okay, and the last I want to say to all candid photographers, because in India thousands of candid photographers are rising up. They take the photographer, street photography and animal photography. So in this campaign, like Gilbert, I want to say कि just go to some hospital and take the mother and the picture and give to them in print, and it will be good for them.
Okay, excellent, Rohit. Thanks a lot. There you have it, folks. Another great startup and another great founder. Check out the show notes at www.foundersgyan.com/EP16 and also the top listened podcasts over at www.foundersgyan.com/top. If you liked this show, please share it with your friends and also subscribe to the show via iTunes or RSS. I'll see you all next week with another great founder and story. Till then, you know what this show was meant to do, so I do hope you got inspired and take action today. Thank you again for tuning in.